Okay. All right. On to the next thing that we're doing. We're going to talk about tofu.
We're going to talk about tofu. So when people hear that I'm plant-based or vegan, whichever you want to call it, the first comment is, oh, I hate tofu. And I'm like, it is literally impossible to hate tofu.
Because it really has no flavor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's the texture they hate. They hate the texture. It's mushy. They don't get it. It doesn't have a meat feel in your mouth. So there are lots of ways to make it have a meat feel in your mouth. And one of the first ways is to make sure you get firm or extra firm tofu. Today I have firm. I prefer extra firm. And there's actually one called high protein that you can get that's super dense, but my local grocery store in the country doesn't carry it. So we do this one. And you have to press it a lot. And that is going to condense and take all the water out of it.
And that's what this little dumafachi is
here. This is my favorite. So a little plug, it's called Tofuti. And I've tried them all, and they have a lot of them that have like 2 plates and screws. There's all kinds of different ones. This one is my favorite. I gave it to all my kids for Christmas. I don't think they liked it, but they got it anyway. So basically, we're going to take the tofu. This is sitting in water. And we're going to take this block of tofu and put it in this little canister with holes in it. It goes in here. And then this has a screw that screws, you can ratchet it down as you go. So you put the tofu in, and I did this before you came because it takes time and we don't have that kind of time today.
Okay.
So you're gonna actually clamp these down with the tofu in it, and then it will be very difficult. And then as time goes by and the water starts draining down into this reservoir, you're gonna crank it more. You're gonna crank it more.
So this would be over a period of how long?
It would. You could probably do it in an hour.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So yeah, not that
Probably
long.
in an hour. But I typically I know I'm cooking tofu tonight, I stick it in there and I'll crank it throughout the day. And before you know it, this will be filled with water. And that's what's gonna give you this firm, compact tofu, which we have because I pre-pressed it. And then I wrap it in paper towels and press it again. So a lot of recipes will say, oh, you take the tofu block and you press it between 2 plates with paper towels. That's not gonna do it. It's still gonna be mushy.
Okay.
This is gonna do the trick.
Works.
And now we have this block.
Look at that block.
Right?
Yeah.
If I took this out of the package, it would be very drippy and wobbly. This is gonna give us a meat feel.
Oh,
all right?
Wow.
So what we're making today is crispy orange tofu.
Okay.
All right, so you and I are gonna cut these.
All right.
So the first thing I do is I cut it in half because I want these to be as even as possible.
All right.
And then I'm gonna flip it on its side and cut it again. I'm trying to get these long sticks, I guess, for better.
Oh.
So we're gonna go this way again. And then we're going to cut these little sticks. And these are going to get dusted with cornstarch. So we have these little sticks. And we're gonna dust them with cornstarch, and then we're gonna pan fry them. The plant-based
Do I need
eaters.
to cut this one more time in here?
It'll be fine.
That's a good
Yeah, it's
thickness.
fine.
Okay, and then cut through both of them. Is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so we just have these little sticks. So our plant-based eaters are gone. Well, if you're gonna fry them in a pan, then you're not eating plant-based because you're using refined oil. So, that's the distinction.
And so how would you do it if you didn't
So
use
if you wanted to be
oils?
full-blown plant-based, what I would do is I would dust these with cornstarch and I would bake them in the oven on parchment paper.
Oh,
Or I
okay.
would cook them in my air fryer.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah,
Right.
great idea.
But we're feeding meat eaters tonight and ourselves. So we're gonna pan fry them because they will get crispier and a little more delicious.
Okay.
There's a reason everybody loves oil, right?
Right. And what is your favorite oil to use?
So I use avocado oil. I just think it's better. Obviously, we don't want to use vegetable oil because we've got corn and there's so much GMO and all kinds of bad things going on in our corn. So I use avocado oil. I think it's probably the healthiest. There are other options, but it has a very high smoke point. So I can really get it super hot.
Yeah.
And some of the other oils that I do like are nut oils, but they aren't gonna let me have such a high smoke point.
Okay.
So now we're going to spread these out. And we're going to put cornstarch in the sifter and sift cornstarch over these until we get them nice and coated. and that's gonna give us a bit of a crispy coating.
Okay, I fear I have not been very even on my
You know
tofu
what?
strips over here.
They're gonna eat wonderfully, so it is not relevant. The thinner they are, the crispier, so I
Okay.
think people might be fighting over yours.
One of the things about cooking is
Just
as
roll
long
with
as it, just roll with it.
Roll
Just
with it,
roll
right?
with it. Yeah,
All
I've
right.
rolled with a lot.
So we are going to now add the cornstarch to a sifter. It has a specific amount, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna just do it till it's coated. This was my grandmother's. That's why it looks so dingy.
Doesn't that make you happy?
But I
to
love it,
use?
so I keep cooking
Yeah.
with it. It's a little ratty, but we're good. I think we might need a little more.
It's a great way to honor a mother or grandmother. And I've actually run into this quite a bit. I
Oh,
just
really?
cooked with a lady about a month ago, and we did Czech cooking. And she's of Czech heritage. And she had her grandmothers and her mothers, her mother was deceased. And we used all of those things in her cooking. And
Oh,
she was
that's
so
wonderful.
happy to,
Get to use them.
It is. So not even just, we talk a lot in Texicurians about recipes being passed down, and that's what we're trying to do is snag those recipes that have just stayed in families so that other people can enjoy them. But there's also the utensils that mean so much
It's so
to
true.
people.
So my apron actually has a chocolate pie recipe that was my mother's. And I cannot have a holiday with my children without this Nana's chocolate pie recipe. So for Christmas one year, they took her old recipe card in her handwriting and had it imprinted on my
so
apron.
precious.
So I totally love your concept there
Yes.
with old recipes.
It's a good way to honor our predecessors.
It is. It is. It makes us all smile every time we see it.
It's a good way to remember them.
So now we're just gonna flip them over and dust the other side. So the more cornstarch you get on them, the more crispy they're going to be, and the more coating there's going to be.
Oh, cool.
So we can kind of wiggle them around, and we're gonna add more of this cornstarch. Oops. Maybe a little more.
That's such a good way to do it because cornstarch does tend to kind of glunk up a little bit.
It is hard to work with sometimes, I think.
So
yeah.
it's a great idea to put it through the sifter. Oops.
All right. Okay, I think we're getting close. What do you think? I think
love
we
it.
can make it work. We
Yeah.
probably got more than we need, but we're gonna have it nice and coated. Okay. And then I guess what we need to do is now put some oil in our pan and get it nice and hot, and then we'll start frying these.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
So a little bit of this, a little avocado oil.
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to just
Yeah, like a thin
throw
layer.
it in there?
Yeah, like a thin layer.
Okay.
And turn it on medium to medium high. We'll get it nice and hot. There we go. Okay. So, once it's hot, we'll stick it in.
Okay.
We got cornstarch on your face.
We've truly been in the kitchen together.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So while we're waiting for the oil to heat, we're gonna make the sauce. Which is
Okay.
the orange sauce. So let's put this aside. Okay, and we'll get ready with the orange sauce. We probably need to turn that